Hey, it's Howard Crampton Jr. and I'm back already, just a couple short hours. And I wanted to bring a second part into the last video that I posted, which I think was titled Consciousness, the Source of Thought. And I went into talking about how we wake up in the morning, and I took you through a brief visualization of when you wake up in the morning and what thoughts you might typically think in reactive mode, and then the thoughts that you could be thinking in a more responsive, controlled mode. And I want to elaborate on that. I actually want to share a couple of examples with you. And this morning I was driving out to San Fernando from Santa Clarita and thinking all the different ways that we react. And waking up in the morning was just one of them. And so as I'm driving on the freeway and I'm thinking, I don't know if that's dangerous, but this car comes over and, really cuts me off on the freeway. And initially, there's that reactive feeling of kind of feeling a little bit upset. And I'm really, really good at controlling that and not following through with it. And again, there's still some residual charge, but I honestly allow it and I let it go. And so the thought that came up for me is, how many other people react this way too? And so, for example, you are driving on the freeway and a car comes and pulls out in front of you. And maybe even they slow down right away. And you start to react and start getting upset. Well, I want you to stop and I want you to acknowledge that even that thought within itself, again, we're talking about taking control of our thoughts, taking control of our feelings and the decisions that we end up making, right? So in taking control of your thoughts, you really understand that whatever just happened, it's not your problem. I mean, yeah, you were involved and maybe in a situation where somebody had cut you off, right? But how you choose to follow through and allowing life to unfold, taking the next step, the decision that you make, you have control over your own thoughts, but you don't have control over other people and other events. I'm sure you're familiar with, we don't have control over the weather, but we have control over the way that we feel about it, right? Same thing with being on the freeway. And so when that comes up and you recognize, you stop, you see the thought, you acknowledge it and say, nope, not mine. And state that out loud to yourself. Nope, not mine. And then you go back to focusing on whatever you were focusing on before, scenery, the thoughts, music, and then choose the way that you want to feel. Okay? And that's so important, though, I wanted to emphasize, is not just to think about what you want to think about and not to think about how you want to feel. Because here's the challenge, is when we think about the things that we want and we declare that to the universe, I want to be rich, I want to feel happy, I want to feel good, I want to think positive thoughts. Well, you can state that all you want, and guess what? The universe is going to allow you to go ahead and want to think about those things. So you're not really deciding for yourself that, hey, I have this within me already. I have these thoughts. I have these feelings. And so you think, okay, what is it that I want to think about? I want to think about what I was focusing on before, maybe the next step in fulfilling my goals for 2013. What can I do? And you think about that. And then you tune into how it makes you feel right then and there. And you feel it. You just don't think about thinking about it. You just don't think about feeling it. But you make the decision, again, to actually think it, to actually feel the way that you want to feel. And then when you make that decision is to follow through with whatever action is necessary to fulfill that. Does that make sense? Now, here's where it all comes from. This is where it all ties together. We talk about what is the source of thought. Well, the source of thought is consciousness. Right? Consciousness is our spirit. Some people identify it as spirit. It's this all-knowing intelligence that's in us, through us, as us, and for us. Right? And it's already present. So when we realize that all that we need is already here, then there's nothing that we have to try to get. There's nothing that we don't have to go out and have, because we already have it. And it's just a matter of opening up and discovering it, discovering where it's at. If it's money you want, money's already here. We already have it. All we have to do is figure out where it's at and where to go get it. All right? If it's the relationships that we want, well, guess what? The people are here to have relationships with. But that relationship is neither within them and it's not in you either. So then it's discovering, well, where is this relationship? It's already here. I already have it. I just have to awaken to this relationship. Then we realize that I already have a relationship. I have a relationship with my higher self. I have relationships with my family and my friends. I have relationships with nature. I have relationships with money, right? So all this stuff we don't really have to go out and get because we already have. And those are the thoughts that you can choose. And realizing that that thought itself is an effect of consciousness or spirit. So any thought that you want to think is already here as well. It's just a matter of tuning into it. Now, Bob Proctor, to take it one more level, talks about the level of vibration. And in this level of vibration, the thoughts that we think and the way that we feel within our body, well, guess what? Just like two magnets, you put them together, a positive to a negative, and they attract to each other. You put a negative to a negative, and they repulse. You put a drop of water with a drop of water, and it expands. You put a drop of water with oil, and it repels. So the level that you vibrate, meaning that the thoughts that you think that have energy to them and the electrical signals that sends through your body and how you choose to feel, you're attracting the environments, you're attracting the people, you're attracting the level of income that you feel that you need or that you want. And everything that you have today is a result of these thoughts and the feelings that you're experiencing. And so you can choose, okay, I've been thinking these thoughts, and even though the thought might be a source at some level of the result that I'm trying to produce, there's still another source behind the source of thought, or behind thought. And that's consciousness. And that's the all-knowing, ever-present intelligence that's moving in us, through us, as us, and then for us. Okay? So post your comments below. I'd love to hear any questions you have about it. And for a lot of you, I know this is stuff that you already know. So share how you've been integrating it and applying. You know, this is both a science, meaning the process of fruition from point A to point B, spirit, mind, and body. But it's also an art, the way that we go about practicing and applying these tools and these concepts. So for all of you who have been learning this, who have been practicing it, share how you go about it below. That way other people can see, because we're all going to relate to this differently. So the more that you can share and express the way that you express life yourself, then we'll have other people resonate more with different experiences. Okay, so go to howardcramptonjr.com, share your comments below, email me at info@howardcramptonjr.com for your 30 minutes, a free 30-minute consultation, or give me a call if you're excited and you want to start right now. Let's go ahead and book it, 661-524-6093. And I look forward to helping you achieve your 2013 goals, and not just your physical goals, but we're going to pay attention to some spiritual goals. We're going to pay attention to your financial goals, your career goals. We're going to pay attention to things that are tangible and things that are intangible. And we're going to learn how to collaborate and use all of that stuff to move forward. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Again, go to howardcramptonjr.com. You can visit the blog section. Email me, info@howardcramptonjr.com for your free 30-minute consultation, or give me a call, 661-524-6093. Talk to you soon.